What's up, guys? A pile of live streams on this. LOL. Why are you yelling in chat, Nitty? Um, the this is we do talk about the things going on within this actual space sometimes. And that happens to be what this is. If anybody has a problem with me talking about this, you know where the fucking door is. So it's came up a couple times the last couple days. Is why I'm making this stream, is because it actually came up yesterday during yesterday's stream, and I had yet to go and watch the video in question and get filled in on the actual events. So this stream is actually more covering that. The I watched Derek's video this morning, the one that with the thumbnail that says "I'm done." Which, if you were done, you wouldn't have then went on to make an hour video about it. And if I was a betting man, I would put my money on there's gonna be more to follow. But that being said, uh, you know, Derek has to, in this case, get the award for being a complete dumbass. I've if you've heard me talk about it, uh, I Derek and I didn't hit it off well, and I don't really care much for Derek personally. I think that some of the content that he's made in the past has been very valuable to a lot of people, very informative to a lot of people. Um, and that's great. Those things are perfect. But does that make it okay to then do whatever with whoever, um, for the audience that you have then built? You know who your audience is, and the when you say words like atheist community, which, by the way, I no longer think atheist community is actually even a thing. um, when you say words like atheist community, though, there is a specific group of people you're talking to, and uh, you know who you're talking to, and you wouldn't have made a video stating that I'm gonna talk to this person and be their friend and all those things if if you didn't, oh shit, if you didn't know that it was a thing. You're saying that I'm muted? Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't think I am, because I was just literally talking to someone backstage up until the show started. But yeah, if you can't hear me, let me know. The Now, the title is a little misleading, of course, and the quotations should have kind of told you that. Um, the Atheist community is not a thing, especially not a effing YouTube. Yeah. The Derek, though, here shoots himself in the foot wildly. Now, does that mean that some of the tactics and things that he talks about from certain people are okay? No. Not everything is. Not all things are as simple as good guys and bad guys. And this is a thing that I've had to talk about before, where sometimes, and all social groups, no matter what that group is going to have uh, deviant people. It is. Now, to go and then call a whole group of people deviant is a different beast altogether. But there are going to be people who are dishonest and who are, um, doing all kinds of things that are not what we would call moral. But it's kind of like the statement, two wrongs doesn't make a right, which is actually a weird thing to say, but it's the spirit of the statement, two wrongs doesn't make a right. The Because statements can have spirits, people don't. The the thing is here, though, is that Derek knew when he said that what the outcome would be, or he wouldn't have done it in the way that he did. He knew that it was going to upset and hurt people and cause problems. But according to what he went on to say in the hour-long video I watched, um, he's more interested in embracing the right anyway. Although he claims not to be political, he then, I think he really kind of gave away the game at that point. But also, uh, I still think that if I have a YouTube channel here, oh wait, I do. Um, and sorry, I'm not on camera, guys. I figured if you gave a shit about this topic, it wouldn't matter if you seen my pretty face today or not. Um, but sitting here as a person with a YouTube channel, if I go fetch Jim Bob and I come give Jim Bob a platform to spew his particular hate and things, and knowing the hate that he has spewed in the past, unless we're going to address that, and there's some sort of apology or reckoning or something coming out of that. Unless I'm going to do that, that's going to be upsetting to a lot of people, and and that doesn't mean I can't do it. It's my channel. I can put anybody I want on here. I can line up every homophobic piece of shit on the right from here to fucking California, and that's my decision to do. But that also doesn't mean that there aren't consequences to doing that. And for you, Derek, know your fucking audience, okay? Know the people you are speaking to, because they're not going to go for that. Um, they're yeah, but you knew that because you made the video, right? You said the things and made the video, and you knew how it was going to be taken, and that's why you said the things you said. You almost admitted to feeling guilty to it just by the substance of the things that you said. Um, all right. Now, just to be clear here before we get too far into this, for anybody who's came to watch this from outside of my usual viewers, because I know that given the title, there will be people that don't that may know me but don't usually watch much of my content. Just to be clear, I don't think that it was a wise choice. Derek, hold on, let's back up. Let me frame that a little better. Derek states that they're destroying careers, and he points to his children. Their names tattooed on his arm. He points to his children, and he points to his wife, and the finances that they make from doing things on YouTube, and said that these this woke mob, as he calls it, is destroying careers. And he uses and he's talking about, again, in big old air quotes, the atheist community. And but the example that he uses is not an atheist, first of all. Not that that matters really, but um, uh, the person's voice that he uses, not an atheist. Um, I think probably the people in his chat giving him grief about being an asshole are probably atheists, and that's probably who he's really talking to. He does show a clip later of a few people, some of whom are in chat, but the he says that it's a business reason, right? That there's a business excuse here because it's about the livelihood and it's all business. Except it's really not. That's not how he argues it. And if he was worried about this strictly from the perspective that he claims to be worried about it from, he wouldn't have made the video saying that, would he? He wouldn't have done that. Um, hey everybody, hi Zach and Ember and uh, Ducks and Jester, and I had already said hi to Nitty. Hi AR and Jay and everybody else. How you doing? Um, so he claims that this is a business thing, but it's not, because if he was doing it for business decisions, then he would have just remained. He would have kept his personal friendship that he longs for so badly with Rob Price. He would have kept that separate from his business because he knew that that would hurt his business. But he chose to do that anyway, and he did know. You know, there's no. I don't think there's really any arguing that he knew the effect of that announcement would have. Um, so right away, I have to say that that was kind of dishonest. And now the subject that everybody's waiting on here, which is um, platforming bigots and woke mob quotes tactics. I think that if you're willing to if you're willing to put people on your channel with a community, or in his case, consumers that he's aware of, people he knows, think that this isn't the first time this conversation took place either, not about this specific person either. Um, yeah, 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 sure, Kip. Yeah, I think I think that I think that the when we're talking about uh, yeah, my main point is that it wasn't a business decision. Um, but the does it hurt his business? Um, I mean, I think that at least temporarily it does. Maybe not in the bigger picture, um, and even temporarily not to the extreme that he tries to make it out to be. I don't think that's the case either. I think that I think that he made the video out of feeling bad about what he was doing. I think that um, uh, I think that I think that he because this isn't about it wasn't he says over and over it's not about necessarily Bob being on his streams. He's friends with him and he wants to be friends with him again, and he wants to do things with his friends, and uh the that's that's his choice. That's that's his thing to do. I think the right wing turn very much pays off in the end. A lot of the content creators decide they need to get to the next level. Yeah, I think the right wing thing too. Like whenever he started saying, "I'm going to speak to conservative people and this and that," and I'm gonna do more conservative this and all these things, I was like, "Oh, there it is, there it is." Um, uh, I think that. I think that and he brings up cognitive dissonance and talks a little bit about how he had cognitive dissonance, but I don't think I think maybe he's mistaken about what exactly that cognitive dissonance was, but I'm not a psychologist or the one to make that decision. The This though, this subject was brought up a number of times in my last stream, and people have contacted me in the last week. Are you on Mythvision's Discord and all this other stuff? And I was not. I had been, and I deleted it a long time ago when he was kind of a dick to me personally. Um, uh, so whenever you choose, like we that when I say we that have content where we're putting other people on stage and giving them a platform to speak, we have a responsibility to the community, because whereas I don't think the atheist community is really a thing, there is a community that comes and watches my videos. There are regular people that I talk to and that all hang out together and that enjoy coming here together to watch things that I make live and talk and chat and all that. And so uh, we do have a responsibility to those people, and if we decide to give up that responsibility at any time, that's a personal decision that you make. And if you decide to do that, then you deal with the consequences of doing that. And I think that he got a bit he was being what's the word, I hate when I do that. Just normal words I can't think of. I've done so many drugs in my life that I've made myself stupid. Um, the When he talks about destroying his career and his wife's career and other people's careers and all that stuff, what he really means is holding people accountable for the things that they said and did. Now, uh, I'm being canceled by the woke mob overlooks the fact Derek's decision hurt people in his audience. It's obvious to us. I'm not sure he's no. I agree with that, Jay. I think you're right. I think that he doesn't. I think that he doesn't fully understand it, and I think that that's one thing that he talks about there that he gets right, and I think that he gets a number of things right in what he said. But I think the basis for it all is mired in some very right wing theistic thinking. The 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 thing is though is that, hold on a second. All right, sorry about that. You can tell them. They can hear you.
Sorry, I'm so rude.
I've seen Joe without his shirt on. I expect an apology video to my eyes, TKA.
Who said that?
BS Lewis. The
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
That's mean though.
He's joking.
I know, but it's still funny.
So I think that Derek talks about all this, like trying to destroy his career and his wife's and all that, and just because a group of people says that your content is this thing, they're just letting people know what you've chose to do. The choice that you've put out a video to tell the world about, they're just telling the world that too. Only they're using adjectives to describe the people that you've decided to platform the way that they see it, the same as you are. You're calling the woke mob an unidentified group of people, although you do identify a couple names in there. But at the same time, like you you have to see that. I mean, like the I think I have the right to say what I want, but I also think if you don't like it, I think I have the right. Yeah, yeah, sure. And I don't think anybody was suggesting that. If I decide to make videos with Jim Bob like I started earlier, then I have to accept the fact that some people aren't going to want to watch those videos. In fact, when I've made all these other videos talking about the things that I talk about and the position that I hold on that, and then I I say, when I've had people, like I've had Tom Sheedy come on the show on accident, of course, and I apologized for that, and learned a lesson and learned things. I've had a couple of these learning experiences, but whenever I tell you the lessons that I've learned, I don't then turn around and backtrack on that and decide to go back and do the other thing again. I don't say, "Oh, no Thomas Sheedy," and then go back and say, "Well, you know what? I'm going to have him back on." Um, that's not how. And I should expect that the people who were upset by the things that he was involved in and had said and done, and the content that he was supporting, I would expect the people who were upset with it the first time would be even more upset the second time. Why would I expect anything different? Just rational thinking there, I believe, anyway. The But the only one who can destroy your career, Derek, is you. Um, Nobody else has the ability to do that. Uh, oh, um, you the video was just, I mean, it was filled with some fallacious things that he said, uh such as, he was having a real issue with taking one event and trying to then apply it to everyone, and trying to, like, the whole atheist cult stuff. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, you reference atheist cult, and then you reference woke mob, and you talk about, you set and threaten. I've got private messages, and I've got dirt, and I know I'm keeping all this in my the back pocket, and all that stuff. Like, you why would you do that? um it's not, You talking to someone, all you had to do, Derek, if you wanted to have Bob Pross on every fucking day of the week, all you had to do is just do it. You didn't need permission from anybody. You didn't need anybody to okay it. You didn't need to. But instead, you decided to make a video where you make excuses for it, and you attack the very audience you built. Um, you, why in the world would you do that? Like, that's the craziest part of all this. I don't, people being upset by some, like, for example, yesterday, my video was about um, a Pew Research study, the latest iteration of a Pew Research study, of which this is the fifth one over 20 years, surveying over 35,000 people each time. That's what it was. That's how it was represented. That's how I represented it. That's how they represented it. All those things. There were people who said they didn't trust that. They don't accept the findings. They don't think that Pew is a reputable source. Um, all those things. That's fine. You don't have to. I'm not mad about that. I don't care. I'm giving you the information that's there. I'm not there. I have no dog in the fight. The I'm just giving you the passing on the information, and I labeled it as such. And so if then I turned around and attacked everybody because a few people said that and was like, fucking atheists don't accept facts. Fucking uh atheists don't care about what actual research and things say. They don't care about using proven methods to try and get to the bottom of things. That would be kind of similar, right? um no, no, his video was very much for his video was well, maybe you're right. Maybe you are right, Trees. Maybe it was for somebody else. But when you make a video for somebody, if you make a video for if if Zach makes a video for you, but it's attacking me, it's my business too at that point. Um the He was just, and like, if he thinks people are trying to destroy his wife's career and hurt his family and all this other stuff, why would he continually post he advertises for her and puts her picture on screen repeatedly? Why why are you doing that if that's the case? Because it was never about those things. It was about his personal feelings, and he felt bad about it. He felt bad because, well, at least some part of him felt bad about what he was saying and doing, because he did have friends that he did have friends and people that was close to, that he in fact turned his back on, in doing this. He did have people that he, in one hand, is attacking the atheist cult, which is quite funny. But then he was apologizing to other people behind the scenes, and so whatever. Derek, you have whoever you want on your channel, and people will watch it or they won't. Now, the Mythvision community called on Derek to do better. He said, I won't. You can't make me. So he made his own bed on this one. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. He 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 did. And maybe he was a little indecisive about that. Um Yeah, trees, I agree, but I think also some of it was attacking because some of it very he talked to the camera and said you and pointed and so there was some of that. Uh, he what did I miss Derek do? You'll have to go watch it. Uh, Derek got upset and said that he's done with the atheist cult and not that he's done with what he does or that he's against atheism necessarily. It's the people, and he was upset because people had gotten upset over him having Dr. Bob Pross as a person that showed up on his channel often, and then he was saying that he was in fact not only going to have that person on, and he was going to that he wanted not only wanted to have that person on. The argument he makes is he wants to have them on for their biblical scholarly work, but then immediately the next sentence says, and I want to be his friend, my close friend. Like, okay, those are not the same thing. He says that people shouldn't judge Dr. Bob Price by the things that he said previously that he adamantly refused to apologize for and said that he wasn't in the wrong, that everybody else was. Um, he not only wants to continue to platform that person, he wants to be their best friend, and all those things are fine. That's not a problem. But why make the video calling people the woke mob and the atheist cult and all that stuff? Like that was regardless of the moral question here, which I do think he's in the wrong. Regardless of that question, he also says it's about business, but makes a very poor business decision. So, what should we think about that? I don't know. But what's up, Brooklyn Lou the Skeptic? Dane's here, Austin, Trees, already said hi to. I think that's caught up to everybody. Dave's here, Maya's here. Maya, is this the woke mob? I was told to report for duty. You're late. Your check will be docked, Maya. London Storm, what's up? Nice to see you. Um, the Thanks for coming, everybody. It's good to see you. Um, you know, I don't like Derek. I haven't for some time, but that's my personal view, and I've told people that it's a personal thing with me. Fine, whatever. He makes content, and he makes good content, and people like it, and whatever. And I know he's busy and all that stuff, and great. Like, um, I don't have to like him for us to contribute to the same to providing information and a place for people of like-minded thought. Um, but he doesn't want to do that. He values his friendship with with somebody who doesn't agree with his audience for the most part. So what Derek needs is a new audience. And that's like Tree said, I think that's kind of what he was fishing for there, right? But now some of the other stuff, some of the claims of what's going on that he makes, that destroying careers, and he uses a clip of Chrissy Hansen, who is obviously uh, joking, whether there's any truth to it or not. Um, she's obviously like saying at least that sentence that he plays in a joking way, where she says, "Oh, doing Chrissy things, destroying people's careers," and then he slows it down and tries to play it to in a way like make people feel a certain way about it. And then he makes all these metaphors with the Bible and religion, and like he starts calling himself Peter and talks about crucifying and uses a lot of words that, which fine, people get what those words mean, but for that particular situation, like you're literally trying to your best friend, your new best buddy, which I don't think is your new best buddy either, but your best buddy victimized other people, and what you want to do is then pretend you're the victim. Is am I if I'm not seeing that right, please somebody tell me. Um um Bob seems like a shit friend. He has no problem passive aggressively threatening Derek's career for the first time. He's now using his friends as, yeah, no, I agree, Kip. I think you're right on there. This is Derek. Why I left the left moment, but always on the way. I was telling people all along, you seem kind of skeevy. Yeah. I think London has a great take on it there. Whenever he started talking about the uh when he starts talking about, I'm going to start talking to more conservative, I'm going to purposely talk to conservative people and I'm going to have conservative guests. As soon as he said that, I said, oh, there it is, there it is. It's he says, I didn't vote and I don't understand it, but the things that he says are very much right-wing talking points. So whatever, see that as you may, but the thing is that as a creator, as a creator, Derek, you have an audience and you can make whatever content you want, but people don't have to watch it. And also, let's go ahead and say it, I don't know if there's any truth to anyone trying to destroy his wife's career, but if they are, that's awful. Why? What does that have to? Is his wife platforming this person too? Because I don't know if that's the case. I don't know about that. Um, and I don't know that she's actively saying the things that he's saying. Maybe she is, but I have a feeling that many of those things were the word I was looking for earlier, hyperbole. Um, um, yeah, yeah. Doctor Kip, Doctor Josh Bowen. I've watched them on Mythvision. Not a whole lot of other, but you know, I don't. As far as Derek's content, which had he just stuck to the content and not went down this road of fuck all these people and they're the awful ones and they're the toxic ones. You know, he says, I'm just going to block these people. Then why didn't you do that? Then why didn't you just block these people rather than making a video talking about the atheist cult that you're leaving and then embracing right wing ideas and suggesting that you're going to only talk to right wing people? Why make that video? He bitches about Heathen Queen. Okay, fine. You don't like her or her positions. That's fine. You act like though that she has some power over something that she doesn't. Like, you don't have to agree with her. I don't agree with some of the people in my own chat right now. Like, so what? He's basically claiming that people are trying to destroy his wife's career because when we were discussing not supporting him anymore, I mentioned his courses. I didn't even know his wife runs those. Oh, okay. Fair enough. But that isn't, not so, saying that I don't support you isn't trying to destroy his career. It's saying you've made decisions, Derek. You've decided to do this thing, and I cannot, do not want to, and shall not support the thing that you have decided to do. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with telling him that. He turns around and attacks his whole audience over it, though, which again may just be virtual signaling to the right, but he does it through attacking his own audience. I mean, for fuck's sake, people, like, I get it. Like, we've had these arguments and things amongst ourselves and stuff where it's like, so and so had this person on, and there's a whole conversation that takes place, and some people feel attacked and some people don't, and there's lots of nuance to each one of those situations. And maybe it's the case that uh you know, Derek can sit and say, well, hey, if you don't like the people I'm having on and the things that I'm doing, then you don't have to watch my channel. I say that all the time. I mean, I don't have a channel the size of Derek's, nor will I ever, I don't imagine. But, like, I can tell you, if you don't, just like I said at the very beginning, if you have a problem with me covering this, or you have a problem with my take on it or whatever, and you want to be mad about it, I can tell you to leave. I can say, well, you don't have to watch what I make. But also, you can sit right here in the chat and you can tell me what you think of it. I'm not going to block you. I mean, unless you're attacking someone. You can attack me all you like. If you're saying hurtful things about other people, I'll block you. But if you don't like the stuff I make, you can say it sucks. I'll tell you to fuck off. The end. Right? And I'll keep on doing what I do, and you go watch what someone else does. That's fine. It's no one is trying to run his wife's career. They're called MVP courses. They're associated with the channel. To be honest, it feels like justifying his motivation to attack people. I think that that's what that's about myself, honestly. Uh, Jay, I don't. I do think that a lot of that was blown up into something it's not. Uh, uh, and he says, and that's the part I'm getting to, Jay, is people were trying to help him. He says, well, if somebody's doing these things, he talks about I forget his name, the black pastor guy who was going and talking to KKK members and got a number of them to leave. He brings that up as an example and says, if somebody's doing wrong, you should talk to them. Is he claiming that nobody talked to him first? That everybody just said cancel Derek? He wants to have this guy on. Is it his claim that that's what's happening? Because I don't believe that. I don't believe that's the case. Um, I've actually sold more courses in the past 2 weeks on Mythvision than I did all month. I'm not sure what to read into that. Well, you better get them in now, kid, because the atheist cult is coming for it. However that works, they're using that big atheism money to shut him down. Uh, the like, if Derek, if and why trees may have been right earlier, and a couple other people has agreed with it. Um, you know, if it's true that the video that he made wasn't attacking people and that it was virtue signaling to the right and to his new audience, because his regular audience, many of those are not his audience anymore. If that's true, um, then still he had no reason to. I mean, it makes more sense for him making the video, but again, like, he says I'm done and then makes an hour-long video, and I guarantee you there'll be another one. Um, he will respond to some other things because there's been so many takes on this and people are talking about it, and there's people saying true things and false things and everything in between. Uh, Not necessarily fine folks on both sides, but um, so there will be another response. I would place money on it. Or maybe not. Maybe the woke mob will succeed and uh, cancel him forever. Um, the funny thing is that it's like if you come on my channel and say I said like Joe, you're friends with that Robin Webster. Hi, Robin. You come on my channel and say, Joe, you're friends with that Robin Webster, and I don't like her, and I think that she doesn't like me. I think that I think the way that she looks at me, she thinks I'm stupid. You come and tell me that, and I say, well, okay. I don't think that you're correct about that. Whatever. And you give me an ultimatum of, well, if you're going to keep talking to that Robin Webster, then I can't come watch your channel. Um, I'm going to say, well, nice knowing you. I mean, like I'm not going to sell out my actual feelings and beliefs, and I don't really guess I have beliefs, but well, I guess to some extent, but I'm not going to sell out myself in order to be your friend, because I mean, you're already telling me you disagree with the people that I value as my friends. So why would I then throw them under the bus to come be your friend? But that's what he did, right? He chose the person he has on for his audience in spite of his audience, and you're right, it's not going to be his own audience. It probably won't even hurt it. Unfortunately, it won't. I mean, I think I would actually like to see more people that decide that stick up for what they believe or what they think, or uh but Joe, for Derek, this is my livelihood. They took our jobs. The Robin will waffle your face with a milk crate. Yeah, there's that. I may be scared too, and I think Derek was too. I think I'm really confused by his attack on Jessica Heathen Queen. Like, her and I aren't close friends or anything. We used to talk a little bit on Twitter and whatever. I mean, I imagine at this point that's been back at the like when I had Twitter, which was like a year ago. I imagine at this point she doesn't even remember who I am. We talked back and forth a couple times. She put some stuff on there saying all men are like this and stuff, and I said I'm not like that. I don't know. Maybe a lot of men are, but I'm not that way. I don't agree with the ideas you posted there. And her and I, got along, even though I disagreed with her. So I don't think that his take on that's right. But even if it is, who the fuck cares? Who cares? Derek, you have a huge channel. Why do you give a fuck what one person is saying? Unless, in fact, those things are true. And you know, unless the things that she's saying about other people you're internalizing because they're also about you, that would explain that. Um, I mean, I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying, like, why in the world would you make a video saying all the stupid things that you said? You know, I don't. Uh, I would give anybody the benefit of the doubt until I can't. One good example of that is that we're not even going to go there. Never mind. This isn't about me. Um, the but he points to someone who isn't hardly active, and then he shows a screenshot of Heathen Queen talking to Jay and Maya and Kip, and he says some stuff about Kip and whatever, and nothing. He wasn't really he wasn't taking a dig at Kip, other than I think he tried to imply that Kip was somehow ignorant to the friends that he has or something. But I don't think that he understood that actually. People saying "boys all" was one of the first ways I knew I wasn't. Okay. Uh, he scripted and edited the video and uploaded it on purpose. Yeah, yeah, he did. Yeah, he that video was edited and made exactly the way I wanted it. In fact, he would keep on saying things, and he would say, "We'll talk about that in a minute. More on that later." And then he never really came back to many of those things. But um, the majority of people working with Derek are very civil. I don't think that Derek is. Look, I don't think that Derek is like an awful person necessarily. He may be. I mean, this definitely kind of would point to me feeling that way about him, and this is my opinion also. Um, I don't think that he's necessarily an awful person. I think that he's number one mistaken about a few things, and he's misunderstanding a few things. I think that's. I don't think that anybody would say that's not true. Um, but outside of that, I don't know what his full intentions are or any of that. But it does seem to be an embracing of right wing ideology. But whatever, like there's obviously an audience for that. There's hell, he may grow a larger audience because of it, the way things are, honestly. Uh, you know, he may end up with more viewers, which is why it was kind of stupid to start it with the atheist cult thing, when he really just wanted to, I guess, piss off, piss off, piss off black people and trans people. Uh, you know, but sometimes people are more than one thing. Uh, but a guy can't figure out if he wants to vote for fascism or not, misunderstanding something. Yeah, right. He did say something to the effect of "back in my day" or some such thing, then proceeded to tout traditional gender stereotypes. Yeah, yeah. He talks about being at an event talking to rationality rules, and that somebody walked by and he misgendered them, and that he just accidentally didn't mean to do it, and that they started screaming and going off at him, and the person looked at him because they were embarrassed for him, and all this stuff. And I mean, yeah, I mean, like, did you not take a minute to think of why that person reacted that way? If that story is even true, I have my doubts about um, the the complete truthfulness, or not the truthfulness of it, but the whole story, right? Did you ever, like, did you think maybe there might be, like, you talk about, you say in your very own, this very same video, Minutes later, you say that you should talk to people and be nice and try to work out what the problem is, and by talking to people and informing them, you can change people's mind that way. You're right about that. You're right, you can do that. But you didn't apply it to your own self. Not now, not then, not in between. The very thing that you talk about doing isn't what you're doing. What you did wasn't nice about it. Um, so why should anyone listen to that? And does it matter? It doesn't. It doesn't fucking matter, Derek. It doesn't matter. Make whatever the fuck videos you want. Have every goddamn bigot from here to the other side of the country on your channel if you want. It's your channel. You own it. People will support what you do or they won't. And you know that. And you're mad about it. Because people who have supported you won't continue to support you when you platform people who say hurtful things about them, who want hurtful things for them, who want them to not exist. People won't support that and you're upset about it. So you say they're canceling your career and your wife's career. Derek, all of the trans people and all of the black people in the whole fucking country don't have the power to do that. Only you can destroy your channel. Yeah, the my black friend thing. Yeah, that was kind of goofy. But yeah. Yeah, he did exactly that. Um he did a lot of that in that whole video where he would say something that he was right about, like you should have these difficult conversations, and then he doesn't. He releases an edited cut down video of him talking shit. Like he doesn't do the very thing he talks about. Um, because what, a handful of people. Does anyone want to take a wild guess? Anybody want to try and put a number on the number of people that confronted him about his behavior? Anyone want to try and guess a number on that? Because I'm going to guess it's less than 10, maybe 10. I'm guessing it's probably more like 5 or 6. But they are the good ones for minorities, yes, and that's the other thing. When people disagree, even on the most important of issues, take Israel and Hamas, uh, for example. Uh, uh, Robin gifted a membership and hit JL Warren, Bridge the Divide. Thanks, Robin. Thank you. Um, I appreciate it. But take this, for example. Sometimes, not every disagreement has this dichotomy, the true dichotomy of a good guy and a bad guy. That's not the case. Sometimes it's only bad guys. Sometimes it's a bad guy and a worse guy. Sometimes you can fight for a perfectly good thing in a bad way. These are all possibilities. I'm not saying that's necessarily the truth of what happened. If the way Derek tells it, it would be that. But the not all things are as easy as looking at it and saying, this is the good person, this is the bad person. These are the good guys, these are the bad guys. Because depending on which side of that you're on, you may feel differently. And for someone who's on the outside looking at all of it from the 1,000-foot perspective, they may not see any good guys anywhere. They may not see any bad guys anywhere. You can disagree with people without being a bad person. Believe it or not. J.D. Vance tolerates slander of all kinds of immigrants, and yet his wife is Indian and non-Christian. He's definitely participating in the racist policy. Yeah, I always wonder about. I think it's weird that him and Donald Trump, like, they do all the racist things they do, and then they go home to their wives and like kiss them on the cheek and say, "Oh, not you, honey, not you. I'm talking about the poor brown people, not you." Um, the his wife is a good one in quotes. Yeah, yeah, good one, Nitty. Good one, good one. The You can have and Derek's goals, overall goals for his channel, and for he says he wants to talk about the Bible and mythology and all that stuff. His goals for doing that may be perfectly good, and he may have a perfectly good yeah. Oh, nuts! They finally came.
No, we've had them. I just didn't cut them.
Oh.
And that goes in your wallet.
Oh, okay.
This is from the dance. You wanted to see it.
Oh, nice.
It's not the best, but
yeah,
I
like
got
it.
it hung up in a picture frame.
Cool. Sorry, guys. My girlfriend's giving me pictures of my kid.
I'm going to go get him.
All right. So,
food fair. Do you want anything?
No, not unless you get something to drink. I'm fine.
I'll see if my dad will.
Okay.
And we're going to eat burritos. Are you down?
Yeah, sure.
For
All right.
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Okay. Bye bye.
No.
Fuck off.
Tell them whores to go to hell.
Go to hell, whores. All right. So there are people who can have well-intentioned goals. They can want the best for everybody and go about doing that in a way that is bad for everybody. So when Derek makes this video, who's the winner here? Who wins? Who comes out the best in all this? Derek gets to have who he wants on his channel, which he could have done anyway. He gets to talk about whatever he wants, which he could have done anyway. He ending his wife's career. If the product he's selling, Kip's still selling his courses. If the product he is selling is worth buying, people will buy it. Another thing he says. Oh, fuck off. He says, I thought this was hell. He said that the Dr. Bob Price has 2 PhDs and is very knowledgeable about this and that and whatever. Okay. Maybe he is. Maybe he is the most informed biblical scholar to ever walk the face of the fucking earth. Maybe that's true. That doesn't mean people are okay with this other thing that you very clearly state that not only did you think he was wrong and he refused to apologize, but he refused to apologize until you felt like it was okay. Both of those things can't be true, Derek. You both of those things aren't the same. Derek's going to keep on making videos with his bigot friends, or not bigot friends, depending on, I guess, who you're asking. He's going to keep making videos and he'll keep making money, and his wife will keep making money and whatever. Um, but people stood up and told him they didn't agree, they didn't approve, and they didn't want any part of it. And he, in the process, probably made it worse by making that video, which may have been his intent. Like a couple of you have said, maybe his intent was to appeal to his new right wing friends and to let them know, what he was about. Maybe that was the goal. Because when you have a channel where most of your audience are atheists, a lot of your audience, I'm going to say most, and then you go and start calling them an atheist cult, you're going to piss off people you didn't even intend to piss off in the first place. His video was directed at a few people. He obviously had a lot of vitriol for Chrissy Hansen, which, okay, I don't care. I don't care. Nobody cares. You and Chrissy Hansen care. He may not like Jay Bundy and his 5 viewers, I think he said. I was over at Jay's the other day watching, and there was more than 5 people there. I don't know. He may not like Jessica Heathen Queen, who doesn't even have a presence on YouTube really anymore, to my knowledge. Uh, um, they quit having her on the line. Um, you know what which does lend itself to why did he make the video? Because, like you said, once somebody pointed out that he sat down and edited the video, which I hadn't really, I knew that he did, but I hadn't really thought about the fact that it was scripted and edited and then uploaded and all that. I hadn't really thought about that, but no one agrees with me. They must all be in a cult. Yeah, yeah. Um, One of the things, there was a lady, Nikki, on the Black Non-Believers stream, fundraiser stream that I appeared on the couple days ago, and she talked about cults and the 4 things that are present in cults, and she was very very intelligent about that topic. And do you think any cult ever calls itself a cult? Who is demanding? While there may have been people that said, "I'm not watching your channel if you continue to have that person," hey, that person. He even in the messages that he shows, even where Chrissy Hansen had commented on the thing about the oh the Odonic right guys, and says that she was just wrong about what she had said. Maybe she was. I don't know for sure. Um, I'm kind of I'm kind of I'm kind of weary of taking any individual person's word on anything. Um, I tend to want to go check things for myself a lot of times. Do your own research, folks. The Earth is flat. Um, the uh, the thing is, though, is that like even in that comment where he says, "Oh, she spread it all this awful stuff and everything," the example he shows is she says, "Hey, just so you know, that person posted this stuff and she didn't say in the comment that he specifies, she doesn't say he's in that picture. She said he posted pictures with these symbols in it, which was true. He did post the picture. The symbols were in it. Does that mean he supports it? I mean, there's all kinds of things that you have to then make an extra leap to get to, which I don't have enough information to really say one way or the other. But the only thing that was said in that comment, anyway, was that he had posted stuff with the symbol in it. And it's a disc with a K. Disc with a K is closer to dick, which is, because the earth belongs to man. Uh, I'm joking. The I'm toying with turning some of my real singing into standalone videos. What the fuck? Good luck, Mage. The the whole thing though, like there's been yesterday there was a number of people that was like drama this and there's this drama and all this other stuff, and I went and watched the video expecting like some awful thing to happen or something. He has very strongly and convincingly denounced white supremacy and is committed to working against white supremacy. Sure. Yeah, yeah. And thanks for clearing that up, Kip. I mean, like, I don't know anything else about that. I know the example he showed was, and maybe Chrissy has knowingly lied. Let's pretend the worst, right? Let's take it and pretend it's the worst. Maybe Chrissy has lied about people and in order to to uphold science. Like maybe that's the case. This is one person. And fine, you can tell people about your findings in that without going on a whole atheist cult rant to which she's not a member because she's not an atheist. Um the but I also think what happened has made a very positive contribution to that charity. Chrissy didn't do anything wrong. I didn't think so, but like just if we can assume the best and the worst and somewhere in between, and look at what by doing it that way, you can better judge what some intentions may be, or where at least some intentions may lie, even if you don't know what they are. Um, yeah. No, I appreciate that clarity, Gip. I really do, because I don't want to further anything that's not true, whether it's about a bigot or a good upstanding member of society or somebody in the atheist cult, somebody in the woke about anybody. I don't want to perpetuate lies, even if they're about Donald Trump. I don't want to lie about anybody or spread lies about anybody, because the truth is so much stronger. The truth lets you know where the cards actually lie, I guess is how you say that word, not lie. That's nobody knows what that is. um Chrissy managed to get on my radar and straight up to about Asteroid in order for me all in one conversation. I've watched Chrissy on a number of things. I've seen I've seen her speak on a number of different channels and a number of different topics about the Bible and religious texts and all that. The things that she talks about. And I feel like it seems to be a very intelligent person who is very good at what she does, which I think Derek somewhat agreed with too, at least partially at some point. It was the other things that he was going on about, but I don't know. I mean, I don't. I don't like to see anybody have words put in their mouth or things that they didn't say or even didn't intend. Maybe you said it the wrong way and your intention was something else. I do know that happens. I don't want to say this out loud, but I kind of attribute his stream to expression we have for dry drunks, untreated alcoholism. Yeah. Well, you know, Derek has contributed things to a lot of people's knowledge about any number of subjects through both his coverage and the people that he's had on to talk about various things, and through the courses that he promotes. There, it's not like everything that Derek has ever made is bad because of this. Now, whether you choose to support those things or watch those things or consume that information, that's on you. You may not. And you know what? Derek, this whole thing, the whole video you made will probably prevent people from getting that information. At least some people, some non-zero number of people will not find good information that's out there because of all this. When you could have just went on and done your thing and you could have just, you know, by the way, my course go buy Kip's course, by the way. So see, look, I don't care about whether Derek continues to profit off of YouTube and support his family and whatever. I don't I don't even have a position on whether he deserves to lose that or whatever. I don't. I do think that the particular person in question here, Bob Price, who has a part to play in all this as well, right? Like we've known about Bob Price for a while. And also it's kind of funny because I know another Bob Price, not a doctor. He was a guard in a jail who ended up in prison for violating the civil rights of a fellow inmate of mine that they murdered. Um, so I don't like Bob Price just for his name. Uh, does that mean his information's bad though? Does that mean that the PhDs that he got are worthless? That he's that because there's a fallacy thing here, right? There's this thing where it's like because this person and it's not a fallacy actually, but it's kind of um because this person is a bigot, does that mean that they can't contribute anything to knowledge and to scholarship? No, it doesn't. But less people will see it because of that. Less people may even be turned away from what is otherwise good information because of it, which is contradictory to what your goal is. You're hurting your own goal. You're kicking your own ass. Jester, there are tariffs on information. I would argue that movies made in foreign countries are digital information. Let's not forget that Bob's bigotry comes through in his work. It does mean that we can elect to ignore the contributions and be comfortable with that we can accomplish without them. Yeah, and that's exactly it. The whole place hurts more. The damage that is done because of it should be enough on its own. Because of Bob's bigotry, which Derek says isn't bigotry now, which he didn't agree with that statement before. Because of it, he may say the most profound shit to ever be said that needs to be heard by some particular person, and it won't be. It may not be. It may be. Because he chooses to be a piece of shit person. And and yeah, no, I agree. Normalizing people like Bob paves the way for people like Derek, willing to bypass the bigotry because an old man was nice to him. Yeah, and that's the thing. Derek starts out with this being a claim about his business and all this other stuff, but then really he goes on about how it's about his friendship and how this person was nice to him, and that's what matters. If that's what matters, then why make the video? If you want to be friends with bigots, go for it. One of the things is, I don't see, and I give me a moment before you jump all over me for what I'm about to say. Okay, I don't see people bitching and moaning that rockets or that space travel. You shouldn't travel. We should stop. We should defund NASA and stop all travel to space because the technology was invented by Nazis. Right? Bad people can contribute good things, but how much sooner would we be likely to, like, the fact that it was Nazis and that those scientists were Nazis? How long did that hold up the advancement of those things? Because it did. We can it demonstrably did. I don't know. The you can, if your goal is to put good information in the hands of people that can use it, then why all this ego shit? Why all this other stuff? Right? Why is Derek making a I'm done and the atheist cult? Unless it is just signaling to the right. Like, why make that video saying all that shit if what's important was just your videos that you're making? And look, Derek, me and you got a lot in common. For real, man. I mean, not the thing where I want to be best friends with bigots, but some other stuff, history of heroin use and helping other people get into rehabs and trying to work with different people and stuff on those things and caring about those things and the experiences. We share a lot of those things. This is where we part ways, though. Didn't have to be that way. Well, it kind of did for me and you because you were an asshole to me the first time anyway. So I was done with you after that myself. I unsubscribed to your channel, blocked your Discord, and never looked back until this all came up. Derek was interested, and just so everybody knows what I'm talking about, I had messaged Derek long ago when my channel was new and small and all that stuff, and said, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you sometime. I would love to do a video with you, but I understand like if you can't do that. But if you've got a few minutes sometime, I would love to just speak with you about some stuff that you said and ask you some questions because I've dealt with a lot of the same things you have. We have much of the same history, and I would like to talk to you about that." And he said, "Oh yeah, sure." He messaged me back almost immediately and said, "Yeah, sure. Do you have a YouTube channel I could check out?" And I said, "Yeah." And I gave him a link to my channel, and he ghosted me. And I even messaged him back and said, "Hey, like you don't have to come on my channel or anything. I just wanted to ask you some stuff." He never, and I sent a couple messages actually. He never answered me again. And never spoke to me again after that. And I just chalked it up as, yeah, he's busy or whatever. But after that, I really didn't have anything for him. Like, he could have told me to go fuck myself or said no or, whatever. But he asked for a link to my channel. And then when he looked at my channel, it's a little tiny channel at the time, less than 500 subscribers or right at 500 subscribers, I imagine. And, so I had put that out there. If he had ever came back at any time after that and said, "Hey, sorry I didn't get back to you, I forgot," or "Sorry, I meant to message you and didn't," or "Sorry, I don't want to talk to you," "Sorry, I don't have time for your petty shit, go fuck yourself." He could have said any of that. And I would have still had respect for him, like I wouldn't, whatever. But, like he was actually, like we were talking back and forth at the time. Like we were I think it was through Twitter, I'm not sure. It may have been through Facebook, I don't remember, but we were talking back and forth at the time in real time. Like I sent a message, he sent a message. I sent a message, he sent a message within minutes. And then once I sent him my channel, I never heard from him again. All right, let's see what some of these comments were here. I seen some interesting stuff. Trump is saying it out loud, and it's infuriating people right now. Yeah. So stochastic terrorism is a phenomenon where people. Let me pull this up. Where public demonization of a group or individual, often through rhetoric, indirectly leads to violence by individuals aligned with that group or individual. Yeah, that's common these days. Words can hurt people, just saying. Words can lead to people being hurt, yeah. I hardly ever watched Derek's channel much, mostly when Kip and Josh were on. Yeah. The vibes are all too familiar in the channels I've come to avoid. I forgot about the culty chant thing. Is it that most people here would rather die under fascism than be led by a woman? because that's what I learned from the last election. Well, I don't think that's. I don't think. I think that people didn't believe that was the case. I think that a lot of people still don't believe that's the case. I think it's that they don't. They again, it's this good guy bad guy thing where they think that the Democrats are the bad guys and that the Republicans are the good guys. I think there's some of that too. I think there's a lot of uninformed people, a lot of misinformed people, and certainly a number of people who want fascism, and certainly a number of people who support bigotry and all those things. I think that it is that and more is what I should say, I guess. But anyway, that's pretty much my take on it. You didn't have to give a shit. Uh, you don't like I'm nobody. Who cares what I think about it? Right? I mean, like, who cares what I think about it? But it was just something that kept coming up, and I've noticed since that happened, I've had a number of people just kind of being like, there's this tension and people being kind of moody and shit about things and just um I will say this though. I will as far as the things that Derek said or whatever. He wasn't wrong about everything. There are toxic people in this community. What they're toxic about, he may be mistaken about, but we're all aware of that though. We all already knew that. No one was mistaken. They didn't care as long as it wasn't a woman. That's true for some people. That's not true for everybody. I think it was a bigger problem than it ever should have been. I think that there's a whole lot of that, but I don't think that was the complete picture of the problem. I think there's a number of problems, and I'm sure you agree with that. We agree, Maya. I just think there's more. Um, it, you know, at the end of the day, Derek. Let's pretend that Derek lost 3/4 of his audience because of this, which will never be anything close to the truth. He'll still have a huge channel. The oh, the thing I was going to say though about the thing that he wasn't wrong about. There are people who want nothing more than to see other people fail. Those people exist within every social group, I would say, most likely. There are people, even those who fight for good causes and and who go and stand up for what is right. There are people who stand up for good ideals that take satisfaction in the drama, that want nothing more than to see things like this happen because they derive their value from it. Those people exist. But they exist in, again, almost every social group. It's not the atheist cult. It's not the woke mob. It's not this group or that group. As long as there are people, at least on any time scale that matters, there will be people who take joy in the struggles of others. There will be people that want nothing more than to hold their fellow man up on a pedestal at every chance, to see only good things come to everybody. They want nothing but good things for all of us. There's both those people and everything in between. Where do you fall? Where do you come in on that? And I'm not speaking to anybody individually here. Where do you fall on that spectrum? Because you have to be somewhere on it. Some people just don't give a shit either way. They don't care. Or they only care about themselves. Or they only care about their kids or their grandma or whatever. There's all different kinds. Like any combination of all those things you can imagine. But there are people that want to see people fail within this group, that group, whatever group. And if you're looking for something to be upset about, if you come to my channel and you go and you're just looking for something to be mad about, you'll surely fucking find it. And anywhere else you look to. If your only goal is to be upset and to drive others into a frenzy with it, to make yourself feel important and to make you to give some value to your life, if that's all you're looking for, you'll find it. I don't know how productive that'll be or how your life will turn out or how well you'll sleep at night. I don't know. I don't care. But unfortunately, we try to do the best to some of us, not all of us. We try to do our best to fit into this world and to live in it according to the way that we see it. Bigotry is bad. Racism is bad. Hate is bad. Some people don't agree with that. Some people think that there should be more racism and more bigotry and more hate as a means to an end. Yeah, Steve McCrae flat out says that atheism plus is a woke cult. Yeah. Steve McCrae says a lot of stupid shit. Examples like what happened to Derek just has me agreeing with that notion. If what Derek said was true, but it wasn't. There is no movement to cancel Derek. There's a group of people who doesn't like him and are telling people his position. And there's people who won't watch that stuff. Nobody gives a shit if Derek continues to make videos or hang out with with his bigoted friends. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. I do think it's quite funny that you came on an atheist channel and the first thing you say is atheism is a woke cult. Why are you here? When you leave here though, maybe go look up what a cult is. And then decide who's a cult. I don't know, and for the people involved in this, yeah, yeah, I figured abruptly there would be a few people chiming in on with that, but the I don't know of anybody who, if you don't agree with me, then you're in a cult isn't the best way to make a case that others are in a cult. It's great if you're trying to establish yourself as a cult leader. Yes, that's what I was getting ready to get at. Like, I don't know about calling us a cult because I always tell people, like I just said a few minutes ago, go find out for yourself, look it up, check. Whenever I hear somebody say a claim, like Derek said some things, I went and looked to see if some of those things are true. I didn't just a cult does the opposite. In fact, it's one of the big preconditions of a cult is that you have a cult leader that you are subservient to and that you accept without question, or at least not real questioning. Skepticism can't be a cult because of the definition of skepticism. Skepticism can't be. Can there be people who act culty in the atheist channels? Sure. I would say there definitely is because some of them came from cults and that's all they know. People are in all different places of deconstructing. So if you wanna call atheists a cult, if you want to call us a cult, then that's gonna who's the leader of this cult? What do they demand of us? In what way are we similar to other cults? I don't expect an answer to any of those things. I'm talking to the dipshit in chat that said that atheism is a cult. Or did somebody boot him already? That'd be fine too. I don't give a shit. Anyway, guys, that's all I got. Sorry to sit and rant at you for an hour and 43 minutes about some shit that don't even matter as far as like to what we usually talk about. It does matter. The things Derek said didn't really matter. And he knew they didn't. But yeah, keep on hold people accountable. Hold people accountable for the things they say. Ask them why they say these things, why they choose to promote people that say these things. If there has to be, in order for you to support people without question who have said bigoted things and racist things and all those things, In order for you to do that, there has to be some amount of bad thinking going on. Find out why. The people who watch my channel, if the people who watch this channel all come to me and ask for an explanation of why I said this thing or did this thing, and they don't want to watch my channel because of it, or because I won't give a good explanation for that, that's their choice. But if I'm claiming that my goals are to further this channel and make money off of it and all that, if I'm claiming that it's my business, it makes it even harder to explain that away. Because if I'm not putting it up as a business and that I'm worried about the money and all that stuff, then I could just say, well, I wanted to talk out my ass on the internet, you know. Okay. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming and watching, everybody. I love you guys. The this will be the last I say on it, and at least as far as a full conversation. It had been brought up to me a number of times, so I felt like at least a few people that watch this channel wanted to hear what I had to say about it, so I did. Um, the I appreciate everybody coming and watching, though, and thanks, Robin, for gifting jail a membership. I really appreciate that. Probably may still do a member stream later on this evening. Um, I've got a couple things to do, and if I can get those done, I surely will. Uh, but I just wanted to put my thoughts out there since I had kind of missed what was going on. I haven't been around very much lately, and I have my own things to deal with, and I haven't been watching hardly anything. And but it came up a number of times this week, and so I thought I would say something about it. And if I'm glad for those of you that wanted to hear what I had to say and are happy about it or whatever, and to those of you that didn't, whatever, like that's fine too. I don't really care. Don't be assholes, and I won't talk about you. How's that sound? I think that's fair. You don't be a fucking piece of shit person, and I won't talk about you being a piece of shit person. I think that's fair. Hi, Big Bad Mama. Good to see you. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Stay safe out there. Um, don't take people's bullshit, and do your own research. The earth is flat.